we're really on point in our household that your priorities are your priorities. And so what I mean by that is if you look at your calendar and you look at your bank account, you're going to know what's important to you.
Thanks for listening today. My name is Kagan with BriteBee, where insurance quotes don't sting. On this episode of The Person Behind the Professional, we are with Joan Curtis, an independent agent at MVP Insurance in Oklahoma City. She has held a variety of roles in sales and even let out her entrepreneurial side a little bit, started a couple of businesses over the years. She's dedicated to providing excellent service to her clients and also is a dedicated mom. And from what I hear, she really cares about the insurance agent as well. So I look forward to hearing that. Thanks for being on, Joan.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Well, let's just start. Give us some background on you. In our research, it looked as if you've had a lot of different experiences, started multiple things. Tell us about your background.
Well, like you said before, I'm a mom. I have 4 children, and my husband's a retired fireman from Edmond. And so when my kids were little, I did direct sales, and I was involved with a lot of different sales companies at that time, which is where I really cut my teeth on marketing and personal relationship marketing and that type of thing. And so over the years, I kind of got really good at it. And so I kind of self-studied, and then I created a business where I was coaching, doing marketing coaching. I had clients all over the country. I had companies that would come in and pay me some sort of fee to be able to help launch them here and be grassroots on the ground with them and teaching their salespeople how to reach the community and network. And then I've done a lot of coaching as far as networking training and social media training over the years. And so when I was in the middle of all that, I thought, you know what, if I ever do anything where I sell a product again, then I would sell insurance, because I would always see the insurance person and they'd always have a great time at any event and people seemed to like them, and they were always getting referrals. It just seemed like an easy product to work with, but I didn't have any clue if I'd be good at it or not, other than, well, I can sell things, but let me see if I'd like this. And so I started with farmers at the time. I worked for an agent for 3 years and cut my teeth in this industry and fell in love with it. I became a total insurance geek, and I love just all the ins and outs of policies and how things pay out, and really educating the client, helping them walk through making those decisions. And so it kind of feeds that mom side again, because I'm helping protect people. I feel like I'm like they're my family.
Definitely.
So it really kind of fed into that for me, plus the relationship marketing side, which I was already pretty good at. So then after about 3 years with farmers, I realized I really wanted to do my own thing. Working for someone else is great. It was a great time, and I really have great respect for the one I worked for, but it was time for me to own my own agency. And so I partnered with Brent Brown, and it was Edmond Insurance Professionals at the time. We recently changed our branding over as of May 1st to MVP Insurance, and do not regret that decision at all. We moved into Oklahoma City. We expanded our office. We hired on more producers. So we're really growing and transitioning and really making a footprint in Oklahoma City. We're excited about it.
Man, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your rebranding strategy and why you did that. I know that there's probably other people out there that think about, man, should we change our name or should we expand or other things like that. So what made you guys do that?
Well, actually, Edmond Insurance Professionals was a great brand, and Brent had started that on his own, which was really great, but it didn't really work for the longevity of really scaling and being a bigger agency. Because when you'd go to Bethany and you'd be working with the Northwest Chamber or something like that, and you say, yeah, I'm with Edmond Insurance Professionals, they'd say, oh, you're in Edmond. And it's like, not that Edmond's bad, but it was like they, in their head, which a lot of people think this, I have to go to your office, and that's far.
Right.
So we thought about it for a year. It took us about a year to make the decision. Like we came up with the name about 6 months before we launched and changed over, but it took us some time to really commit to, okay, what do we want to be? And so that whole strategy came down to, okay, who are we? What does it look like when we're in the community? What are we trying to do? And second, who do we want to reach? Because we don't want to just stay in Edmond. We don't want to just stay in Oklahoma City. We write insurance all over Oklahoma, and we actually are licensed in Texas as well. So we wanted something that we could take and create satellite offices, or even go national if we wanted to at some point. So long story short, how we came up with MVP was I was part of Leadership Edmond Class of 32, and that's through the Edmond Chamber of Commerce. And I was voted the most valuable person in that group at graduation. And so I have this certificate in my office saying Joan Curtis MVP Class of 32. And so we were shooting out names, and we're saying all these, this name, that name. And I looked up and I saw that. I'm like, what about MVP insurance? And Brent's like, I like that. I like it a lot.
And you're like, and I even
good.
have a certificate for it.
Yes, I even have proof. I have legal documentation. So, and then we really started getting into the meat of that, of what does it mean to be MVP. And it's really easy for people to remember, and people can bond with that easily because, you're the real MVP, all that type of stuff. So then we decided, okay, this is our name. Now what do we want our branding to look like, and how does that represent us? And so I did research on colors and all that. So a lot of people think, red and white, or they go for what's trendy, and we wanted to be set apart. And so I actually used the thunder colors, but you can't really tell because the way I placed it on our marketing, you can tell there's thunder colors, but they don't look like the thunder. So it kind of works. So it's really easy for people to bond with because they've already accepted this is a credible color, and they've accepted this is a credible branding. So, and we have just exploded since we made the change. It's just
really
crazy.
Where would you say most of your business is coming from? Is it coming from referrals? Is it coming from people searching for you now? What does that look like?
Well, we have 100% referral base, and I don't say that lightly. Like, every piece of business I write was referred to me by a strategic partner. So it's either a realtor, a loan officer, somebody who's in the business community who works with small business owners. We are really, really huge on relationships. And so we really take the time to foster and help those people that are in that target market for us. And so for us to build our branding, a lot of people buy leads, and that's not a problem for some people. That's just not how we do things. So,
sure.
So it's all through networking and strategic partnerships. It's about being very on purpose with where I spend my time, who I spend my time with, and what I do during that time. So because when you're helping someone and you're doing the serve as if, that whole serve as if thing that we have on everything on our Facebook, that is our branding, is hashtag serve as if, and it has everything to do with service for self. So if I can find a way to help you, then you naturally want to give back. That's just how it happens. And so you create loyalty and partnerships with people that are long-term, and you actually help them make money, and then they in turn do the same thing for you. They're your brand ambassadors. And so we're really blessed that we have 100%.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So tell us a little bit. You're not only passionate about insurance, but you're also passionate about insurance agents and helping small business owners succeed. And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the next month.
Okay, so in September, it hasn't even been announced yet, but we're having a class for insurance agents. I'm partnering with a gentleman named Tom Baker with Catalyst Insurance Business Solutions. There's another company called AutoGuard that is going to come alongside with us. Myself, AutoGuard, which is a company that works with car warranties. And then I've got 2 or 3 other companies. We all have what I consider a shared client base. Okay, they really work well with insurance agents. Well, I really work well with them. And so in order for me to serve my partners I always say there's a big pond with little fish in it. So these fish eat these little fish. So I want to provide and help make those connections with their target market, which is me. I'm their target market. So getting them in front of other insurance agents really helps build their reputation, helps create credible relationships for those insurance agents to be able to really serve their clients. And then also too, in the long run, I'm actually getting to be able to build relationships with fellow agents that I can refer business to back and forth, because not everybody does the same thing. And so we're doing a class for these agents for hiring. So the number one problem I see across the board in any small business is staffing. Like, how do you hire? How do you find good people? How do you keep good people? So we've brought together some great experts in that field to do this class for free for other agents, which may sound counterproductive, but it's really not, because I can really help these people find what they need. And then in turn, I can get this information and share it with other small businesses. So it really is a win-win for everybody.
Definitely. And do you have a location yet or where that's going to be happening?
Yes, it's going to be at the IAOA office, which is off of Kelly in Oklahoma City.
Tell us a little bit about you as a mom and being an agent and how you balance all of that together.
Wow, that's a really big thing.
Right.
So being a mom, I have four children. My daughter will be 21 in November. She's a junior at UCO. My son is 19. He just graduated from Santa Fe, and he works for a local hotel chain full-time here. Then my daughter is in 8th grade, and my youngest is going into 5th. So
wow.
We have a lot of different ages.
Yes, you do.
A lot of different seasons of life, dating, soccer, the whole thing.
I was going to say, you have a lot of emotional stages. So, all different types of emotions, right?
Yeah. So, and it makes it really interesting. But you would think the younger kids are the ones who need your attention, and really older kids actually need your attention more than the younger ones do. So we're really on point in our household that your priorities are your priorities. And so what I mean by that is, if you look at your calendar and you look at your bank account, you're going to know what's important to you real quick. If you're spending money on yourself or on your family, it's going to be apparent to you. If you're spending time with other people or with your business more than with your family, it's going to show up. So I'm really on purpose by scheduling personal time on my calendar before I schedule anything else. So like if I know I have events coming up for my kids, it's on my calendar the second I hear about it, so that I don't miss out. I don't want to forget, oh, that's right, that was today. And then try and move things, because that ruins your credibility when you're always not showing up for meetings because you forgot something.
Right.
And two, it shows your children that they are that important. So then when you have to say no, they understand. They're like, oh no, Mom, you show up for everything. It's okay if you miss this one thing. So it really works in my benefit to be on purpose with that. And then two, I tell people all the time, date your kids. So each of my kids gets one-on-one time with us. So my husband and I, either one-on-one with the kids or together 2-on-1 with our one kid, is really important to us. So, for example, one of my sons, he has a learning disability, and so college is probably just not going to happen with him, and that's okay. If he chooses to go to college, that's fine too. But knowing that I have an entrepreneur spirit, so we actually took him on vacation and went to a entrepreneur conference in Vegas one year and just let him see what was possible.
Yeah.
And he came home on fire. He was 17 and he was like, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to flip houses. I'm going to do this. He was just ready to go. But that time was irreplaceable. We really got to know him and see what really fuels him and get some one-on-one time with him.
Yeah,
before
that's
he's
awesome.
Gone. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Yeah. Your priorities are your priorities, and they will show up whether you want them to or not. Just be honest with yourself. If you really feel like you want to make your kids a priority, then be on purpose with it, because you don't get that time back.
Yeah.
Ever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you heard of LoveWorks?
LoveWorks. You have to make.
So it's actually a partner that we have, and I would love to share it with you sometime, but it's all about kids and entrepreneurism. And
wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I think it'd be really interesting for your son to go into that program and to experience it. So they're actually located in Moore, but they have many different programs throughout the year that would be really interesting. So I'll share that with you afterwards so you can learn a little bit more about them. But they're a phenomenal group of people.
That's exciting. I would love to hear about them.
Oh, yeah. Sounds amazing. So much fun. So we'll definitely share that. I think it'd be great. So we do have a fun question for you. So hypothetically, if failure literally wasn't even an option, what would you work to accomplish, or what career path would you choose outside of insurance?
Okay, so actually, it's funny you say that because I do have a desire to go into ministry full time. And that's one of the reasons why I love insurance is that over time, as I grow my business and I want to step out of the role of management and more into a role of owner, then I could do speaking and teaching. I'm writing books. I'm in the process of writing a book right now that should be done hopefully by the end of this month, and hopefully. But I do a lot of ministry with women that is based on being a mother and a wife and how to manage those relationships in a way that can be beneficial and honor God in my life as well as honor those relationships. So my husband and I have been married almost 22 years. He's the only husband I've ever had. I'm his only wife he's ever had, and we have no intention of being replaced.
That's good.
Again, that priority thing, I really have to take time to make sure that that shows up in my life, that he's my priority. So just some of the things that we've learned, I want to turn around and teach to younger wives and younger moms.
That makes me think of something. This may sound horrible, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So
that's okay.
I had this idea that was like, I need to, this sounds horrible, but I need to date our team. Like I need to take each person out sometime and really get to know them better. Just spend some time with them.
I agree.
And you know what my wife said? She said, "Would you date me more first?" And I said,
"Amen.
Yeah, yes, I will. Yes, I will." And she goes, "Now you can do the other." And I said, "You know what? No, I'm going to date you more first." So
Amen.
we started putting on the schedule just recently, actually this week. So it's very funny that you're on this week, but this week we started just putting on the schedule when we were going to date each other, spend more time with each other, and I'll worry about everyone else later. But I got to make sure my wife's taken care of too.
Absolutely, because the long term is one day my kids are going to be gone. And it's going to be this man standing in my kitchen and me looking at him going, who's that guy? So, and you don't want to be in that situation. And two, she's here in the middle of the throes of you growing a business.
Yeah.
It's like having another child is having a business, like having another
kid.
You
are absolutely right about that.
It really is. And so I have to, again, make that priority happen. And I'll tell you, my husband's really, really good at being, and no offense, ladies, I know it's going to get people all in a roar, but he's really great at being the man in our relationship. And so he will call me and ask me out. Like he calls me on the phone. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'll be like, "I'm working." He's like, "Hey, I was thinking maybe Friday night. Would you like to go out?" I mean, he asked me out on the phone just like he did when we were younger.
Yeah.
And that's so important to continue those same behaviors you had dating outside of marriage that you do inside of marriage, because it makes me feel special. It gives me something to look forward to. I get excited. Hey, Friday night's my special night, So, and he plans the dates. He makes the effort, just like he did when we were dating. So, and it's not that I am not a powerful woman and all that craziness that comes with feminism, but really I want to be treated special, and I want him to see me as that, and he's special to me.
Yeah, no,
so I have to do the same thing for him as well. So,
that's fantastic. It's like you were sitting in our recent conversation together. So it's really funny. Yeah, well, that's really funny. Well, tell us a little bit about the products and the companies that you offer.
Well, we are really blessed to, as an independent agency, to have several companies that we work with. We just recently got direct appoint with Progressive for their home, which was really exciting for us because that was one you have to work for a little bit. And so we were excited to receive that. So we do home and auto with Progressive, Safeco, Mercury, we have home and auto products with. We have AIG, Chubb, some of the bigger companies that do higher end homes that do auto as well. And then we just had 2 or 3 more companies that came on board through some of our appointments that we have access to, but they're probably not as familiar with people. So, but mostly Progressive and Safeco are the ones that people know.
Right.
Safeco is a Liberty Mutual backed company. So it's at least something they're familiar with. And we only work with A-rated companies. So A-rated meaning that they are financially stable. So if there's a big loss here, you're not going to find that they don't pay their claims and then they pack up and leave town. So that's super important.
Definitely.
We do have some substandard companies that are good for specialty issues. Like if you are somebody who buys property and you need to do, massive overhaul on it, we have companies that will take builder's risks and some of those flip type opportunities that people do that's real popular right now.
Yeah.
We have companies that work with those kind of companies or with those kind of clients. And then we also do life as well and commercial as well. On the commercial side, we're direct appointed with Liberty for that, which is great.
Wow.
Because they are a great company to write fleet vehicles. We really love to work with like HVAC companies and larger companies that have like 10 vans, things like that. That seems to be something we kind of draw in a little bit. So, and that's something we market to more because we have some great products that work for those types of clients. On the commercial side as well, investors seem to really like this. They'll bring us an entire book of homes that we can write a commercial policy with that gives them blanket liability coverage. So let's say, for example, you own 10 homes and typically that liability will be written into each policy. Well, you can do a policy that you pay $500 for the year for all 10 houses for one liability limit.
Yeah, that's very nice.
That saves you $300 on each property. So it's an amazing product and it really helps investors. So we do a lot of that. So we really love working with people who, again, are entrepreneurs just like us. So you tend to draw on people who are a lot like you. And so I love business owners. I love personal lines. So it doesn't matter, whatever you got, home, auto, life, commercial. And then of course now we have this warranty for cars. So I'm really excited about that with AutoGuard. We're actually offering your mechanical warranties like you would get through a car dealership. We can offer direct to the client and they don't have to put it onto a loan. It's zero financing and it's an ACE registered, I can't even talk, the ACE registered mechanics that actually can do it anywhere in the country.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry, tripping over my words.
No, that's fine. So we always like to make sure that we ask, 5 key takeaways. And I think you already gave us maybe a little bit of some, but give us 5 key takeaways that you want everyone to know that you believe will be beneficial for anyone walking away from this.
Well, for me, I really love to invest in people. And so if I can help you just be better. So these are things that I kind of live by. Number one is service before self. So if you can find a way to help somebody, you have the ability to help them, do it. Like, I'm not saying you have to go around serving everyone, but if I have a gift and talent that somebody needs, then why not? I don't want to be stingy with that because I'm too busy. If I have the ability to stop and help somebody cross the road, then so be it. So that, I think that's really important. Being teachable and trainable is number 2. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So I always say be in a place of humility and learn from every situation because that's how you grow as a person, professionally, as a parent. It doesn't matter. You can learn from anyone in any situation, even if it's all you're learning is you don't want to do that again. I mean, always come from a place of learning and you can't help but do great things. Number 3 would be help others be great. So what I mean by that is if you help other people shine and do great things and you can admire them and applaud them, then when it's your time, they're there to support you. It creates loyalty. And I don't have to be number 1 in order to do great things. In fact, I'd rather be number 2 because if I can help you be number 1, then I'm doing my job. I always say I like to be a good backup singer. So I can make you sound really good.
Yeah.
And I can have a lot of fun doing it, but I don't have to have the limelight on me. The most influential people are the ones you never hear about.
Right.
They're always in the background doing great things and helping people do great things.
Yep.
So that's number 3. Number 4, this kind of, we were talking about dating, date yourself. Take time to know yourself as a person, as a mom, as a business owner, whatever it is. Take time to know who you are first because you can make better decisions when you know who you are. So I know what to say no to and I know what to say yes to because I know whether it's going to be a benefit just based on this is who I am. If somebody comes in and says, hey, I need you to run this multi-million-dollar company, can I do that? Probably, but I know myself. That's not what I want to do. So it's real easy for me to say no to something that's just not a good fit because I know who I am. So, and number 5, learn to love reading. Like read as much as you can. And if you can't sit and hold a book, do books on tape. Audible, Overdrive is through the library. You can get a free app and listen to books from the library for free all day long. And you can't help but grow when you're constantly being fed great stuff. So
definitely,
those are my 5 takeaways.
That's great. Well, the last thing we always have is, how do we get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Okay, so my office is located at 12032 North Pennsylvania Avenue in Oklahoma City. We're in the back of Penn Center, which is a little office complex right there off 122nd and Penn. You can always email me, Joan at insure, INSURE, MVP, like mostvaluableplayer.com. Also, info at insure MVP if you'd like. And then our phone number is 405-697-5222.
Joan, we really appreciate you being with us today. We want to make sure that everyone subscribes to this podcast. Please do it now so you don't forget, and also give a review on what you thought of Joan and her 5 key takeaways. Remind everyone, don't forget that if you are looking for insurance quotes that don't sting, go to BriteBee.com, click Get a Quote, and then you can find Joan on there as well, her bio, her podcast that we've done here, and then also hopefully getting some videos on there very soon. Guys, we appreciate everyone listening and have a wonderful day.